Welcome to the DSO Hygienist podcast. This podcast is for everyone in the DSO space. Whether you're a hygienist, dentist, assistant, or leader, we're here to bring you expert insights, real-world strategies, and conversations to help you thrive. I'm your host, Christine Deal, and together we'll explore how to elevate patient care, grow professionally, and navigate the ever-evolving world of DSOs. Let's get started. Helen Sublette is a dental executive and revenue cycle strategist with over 15 years of experience leading and scaling operations across multi-site dental organizations. As the founder and CEO of Coastal Dental Professionals Consulting, she specializes in designing and optimizing revenue cycle systems from insurance verification to analytics and AR performance, helping practices eliminate revenue leakage and recover hundreds of thousands of dollars in lost production and collections. Known for her ability to turn complex operational challenges into structured, high-performing systems, Helen has built and led teams supporting dozens of practices, consistently improving accuracy, reducing denials, and driving measurable financial results. She currently serves as co-chair of the Professional Model Work Group with the Dental Assisting National Board and is a speaker with the American Association of Orthodontics, where she educates on orthodontic billing, coding optimization, and revenue cycle strategy. At the core of her work is a people-first philosophy. Helen believes the sustainable success comes from strong relationships, aligned teams, and systems that empower people to perform at a high level. I'd like to welcome Helen to the DSO Hygienist podcast today. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me, Christine.
Well, we're going to talk about things that most hygienists probably don't have a great handle on. So I can't wait to do this because I want to learn a lot from you. So what are the biggest revenue leaks you see in dental practices today, and how much are they really costing?
Across most practices, revenue leakage is really one specific big issue. It's a breakdown of small, multiple issues. The biggest ones are inaccurate insurance verifications, whether we're missing incorrect frequencies, history, what's available for those benefits. Low clean claim rates, those claims when we're first billing them out, leaving the practice, are they accurate? Are they able to be paid immediately? Or are they going to need some type of adjudication? Underworked AR. Are your outstanding claims being worked on a consistent basis? We want to try to have those turned around within 10 to 15 days. Once we're going over that 30-day mark, we're in that territory of we're more than likely going to receive delay of payment, as well as unchallenged underpayments. Why did a claim short pay? Why didn't we get the full payment that was expected? We want to look into that and find out why, not just accept it and either bill the patient or write it off. Let's go back to the insurance companies and challenge them if we were expecting payment there. Individually, all these things may seem really minor, but collectively they can cost a practice anywhere from $100,000 to $500,000 a year. The key is identifying where the leaks are occurring and implementing systems to prevent them consistently.
So what would you say separates a high-performing practice from one that's struggling?
High-performing practices operate with structure, visibility, and accountability. They track KPIs like the clean claims rate, their net collection rate, and the days in AR on a weekly basis, not monthly. If we're doing monthly, we're already behind the line. They also have clear SOPs and team accountability. Struggling practices tend to rely on reactive workflows instead of proactive systems that are going to address these issues on the front side.
So where do most most practices get the insurance verification wrong?
That's a great question. Most practices treat verification as a checklist item instead of a clinical financial safeguard. They'll miss critical details like frequency limitations, downgrades, waiting periods, alternate benefits, exclusions and limitations. A lot of the exclusions and limitations are treated as a blanket per carrier, which is a very, very big misconception. We want to treat each plan like a fingerprint, regardless of who the carrier is. That way, you're able to capture what is exclusive to that plan for much more accurate treatment planning and presentation. Capturing these gaps lead to, directly to circumventing denials and write-offs. And unfortunately, we can get rid of the surprise billing that can happen at the end, which changes the conversation with the clients.
So, how does poor verification then impact the collections and the AR?
Poor verification creates what I like to refer to as a ripple effect. If the claims go out incorrectly, more than likely they're going to get denied or underpaid, and they're going to require additional rework. That's going to increase your days in AR, lower your collection rate, creates unnecessary administrative cost, and can create a less favorable relationship with the patient. It's one of the most preventable revenue issues. So if you're able to avoid it, you definitely want to.
And what KPIs should every owner watch weekly? I like that you said weekly, not monthly.
Weekly is extremely important. It helps you keep your finger on the pulse of what's happening before things can slide downward. At a minimum, we want to be mindful of the clean claims rate, your net collection rate, your days in AR, denials by cause, and first pass resolution. Another thing I like to monitor in the denials by cause is which carriers are prevalently sending denials. It'll tell you a story very quickly. These metrics are going to tell you exactly where your revenue cycle is breaking down.
So if you walked into a new practice tomorrow, what are the first 3 things you'd audit?
So first things first, front end verification accuracy. If the verification is inaccurate, it causes that ripple effect all the way down the line. Secondly, the claims workflow and the clean claims rate. We want to make sure that that system is working well. If claims are slow to pay, we need to figure out why and fix that. Third, AR aging and denial patterns. What's happening there? Is there identifiable patterns? More often than not, there is, whether it is a service issue or it's a carrier issue.
When you say clean claims, can you just explain that a little bit? What does that mean?
So a clean claim is a claim that is sent to the insurance carrier with accurate patient information, subscriber information. There's no conflicting service codes, and you have all the appropriate documentation to support the service that has been performed. Now, a clean claim for hygiene is pretty straightforward, as anybody can imagine, an exam, pro-fear, perio maintenance, and respective x-rays. When it comes to the operative services, that's where we run into much more problems. We want to make sure that a clean claim is sent with a diagnosis of why the treatment needed to be done, what was done during that procedure. A lot of the carriers are now asking for the anesthetic use, especially on those SRPs. I know it's kind of bananas, but they want to know. And I would expect that to continue with other services. How much time is spent in the chair? Specifically with SRP, where's the attachment loss? Where's the subgingival proof, radiographically speaking, that calculus and tartar exists and level of bone loss, right? We have to have all of this documentation, radiographic, charting, IOPs, all of this to support that claim. If you have all of these things to send with the claim, that is what we consider a clean claim.
Now, do they sometimes kick those back out?
Absolutely. One of the big things that's happening right now in the insurance carriers, and I know everyone's talking about the purge and the push, I should say, for AI. Well, we're using AI to assist us with writing these narratives, right? And tell us what's the pitfalls. Well, your insurance carriers are also deploying AI on their end, which is to also tell them where's the gaps in the insurance claims, where are the problems with what you're billing? And did you meet all the specifications that they have? And if you don't, they're automatically going to kick it back. Now, the other problem that happens with the AI is, and I know this is out there very widely, AI is not perfect. It's going to make mistakes. So what we are seeing is claims getting kicked back because AI did not read the information correctly. And this is something that we do have to combat. And, if you are getting those denials and you're like, oh my gosh, like we have the information, it's here. You want to turn around, you want to appeal that. You do want to fight it for your office's sake, for your patient's sake, because more than likely it unfortunately was an AI kickback that's inaccurate and we just need to fight it.
Got it. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. Everybody's using, excuse me, AI on both ends.
Yep.
So one to fight it and one to approve it.
Exactly. And a lot of folks don't think about the insurance carriers as using it. And they are. They're absolutely deploying it. So you want to keep that in your forefront. The narratives that we use for our claim submission, you don't want them, yes, you want to use a template that helps make sure you check your boxes, but you do want to make sure that those narratives are specific to that patient's condition of their teeth. So that way it sets it apart and it doesn't get flagged as this is consistently what we're seeing over and over and over, because they'll kick that out too, because as far as they're concerned, you're just copying, pasting a generic template. It's a generic narrative at that point. That's not going to help.
Got it. So where are the biggest gaps in the RCM systems or technology?
The biggest gap isn't usually the system itself, it's how the system is being used. Practices often have the tools but lack standardized workflows, reporting discipline, and accountability. The technology without structure won't fix the revenue issues. You have to have the structure there.
Got it. And what's one thing that an owner could do to try to fix the RCM?
So one area that the owners can do to fix the issue with RCM is, instead of adding on more staff to fix the broken processes, fix the system that's already in place and apply accountability. By adding just more staff to fix the problem, you're actually going to add more inconsistency. Take a look at the system that you already have in place. Make sure everybody understands how to use it, how to deploy it, and make sure there's staff accountability.
Yeah, accountability is so key. I hate that in offices where they're like, well, everyone needs to do this. And everyone knows it's that one person that really needs to do this, but they always say everyone.
Yes, absolutely. And having a team mentality, there's nothing wrong with that. But just like spokes on a tire, every single spoke has a job. Once you start losing them, or you have, say, a weak one, it weakens the rest of the team. So yes, there absolutely is a we. Everyone needs to do their part, but each individual member of the team should know their specific role and their impact to your practice and be able to play into that and to contribute to that team in their own way.
I agree. And I don't have any problem being accountable. We all need to be accountable.
Absolutely.
But you can really get a toxic environment if you kind of just blanket those people that aren't being accountable for what they're supposed to be doing.
Absolutely. And the accountability is not supposed to be punitive. It's an opportunity for everyone to grow. I know people hear, be better, today than you were yesterday, but it's so true. And accountability allows you to do that. It allows you to learn from what we did yesterday, good, bad, or indifferent, and grow from that today. So that way, down the line, we're all better people and we're all better professionals.
Yeah, for sure. So can you share a real example of the RCM improvement?
Absolutely. In one case, we improved verification accuracy and claims workflow, which reduced denial significantly and recovered over $250,000 in lost revenue within 12 months. Absolutely. We're very excited about it. The biggest impact came from fixing the front end processes, such as insurance verification.
Wow, that's a lot of money that was sitting out there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And for some practices, it can be more than that, for sure, based on what systems are not being utilized at the moment.
And what's the fastest way to improve cash flow in like 30 to 60 days?
The fastest way to improve your cash flow in that 30 to 60 day window would be to focus on cleaning up your AR, improving your claim quality immediately. That is the fastest way to catch that low-lying fruit. Work your aged claims, challenge those underpayments, and ensure your new claims are going out clean with all your necessary documentation to support why you did the service that you did. Those steps alone can significantly increase your cash flow within weeks, very, very quickly.
Yeah. Well, that's amazing. And I'm so glad that we kind of took the time to get to know a little bit about some of the operations that we don't normally do in the back. So I really appreciate your time today, Helen. And if people wanted to reach out to you, maybe to get to know more about this, how would they do that?
Absolutely. And thank you so much, Christine, for having me today. So I can be reached directly through email. It's coastaldentalprofessionals@gmail.com. I'm also open to folks calling or texting. That's 617-595-5502. And I live with my phone in my hand, as most of us do. I sleep with it sometimes. Don't tell my husband I do that. He knows. But I will answer you. I promise. I get back to everybody.
No judgment, no judgment. Well, thanks again for being on the DSO Hygienist podcast today. We really appreciate your time.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. It was an absolute pleasure, Christine.
Thank you for listening to the DSO Hygienist podcast. Please follow or subscribe to be alerted of new episodes.